to say about Frost Kieran. We'll probably talk about that a little bit tomorrow. But so I realized it was actually 2 separate episodes. And what Discovery Plus did, which was pretty smart, was they did Johnny's story on one side and then Amber's story, kind of, I'm not going to lie, kind of on the other side. Now, this right away, I want to tell you, is a pretty decent representation of the actual events that went on. There are a lot of like little bullet points I want to talk about. Let me share the screen so you guys know which one I'm talking about. This would be like great to EFAP, but I can't do that because I have 2 strikes and I'm not taking that chance. So this is Discovery Plus, basically. And if you don't if you want to watch it, and I do suggest it's very well done, but if you don't want to pay for it, they do have a 7-day free trial. That's definitely how I watched it. I was not going to play for Discovery Plus in the nicest way possible. What is on Discovery Plus that's even any good? But there's 2 separate episodes, right? So they separate this into Johnny's story and Amber's story. Now, I really want you guys to check this out because Amber's story, I'm not even kidding you, is kind of just like an extension of Johnny's story. There are some really cool things that they show in here. But they had a behind the scenes, a lot of stuff that happened basically in the war room with Ben Chu. I'm sorry. Ben Chu. I was thinking Rottenborn. Camille, everybody on that team, they didn't have a single interview from Elaine. Not a single interview from Elaine on this. Nothing from Rottenbottom. Nothing at all. But they painted Camille and they painted Ben. And I forget the girl with curly hair. She was also on the team. She did a good job. And I should know her name. I feel bad. But my goodness, they did such a phenomenal, like, honestly, a very objectively well job with this. Like, you can tell, obviously coming here, that I have a bias towards Johnny Depp. That's pretty much obvious. You can tell people like Eve Barlow have a bias towards Amber Heard. These things are pretty well, facts. They did a pretty good job of showing the good, the bad, and the ugly, but painting it in an honest light. And I was actually rather impressed. Now, the editing was very well done. The intro was terrible. Discovery Plus, if you're listening, you need help with your intros, get a hold of me. I can do that for you. I have a feeling they reworked things to be in favor of where the wind was blowing. Robert, I agree. I do think so. Now, there is a lot of, they did talk about social media influencers, and we'll cover that first, and then we'll go into each side. There was a lot of people on this platform that you probably have seen their videos or interacted with at the very minimum on this. They had interviews with Emily D. Baker, and I seen her and I'm like, yes, the best representation of Lawtube made it. Like, I love Emily. I think she is amazing at what she does. And sometimes just hearing her I covered it myself, right? I did. But I also watched a lot of Emily's content because she's adorable. And she's very, very charming. And the way she would get mad at Elaine, and I loved it. But she had an interview on here for actually both sides. They showed her on both sides of the spectrum. Great representation for Lawtube. Great. She did such a good job with this. Like, I am really happy for her. She deserved that spotlight. And it looked like they even maybe had flown her out. I'm not sure because it was an in-person interview. Turns out cartoons and comics was right. It's just too. Oh, okay, that's awesome. That is freaking awesome. I can't wait to see that. I'm not a huge Titans fan the show, but Doom Patrol and Stargirl are amazing. I like Raquetta Law too. Raquetta didn't make the cut. I'm actually very surprised at that. Raquetta covered this like a fucking champ. Raquetta covered all the different, just like Emily, just in kind of his more dude way. That sounds bad, but Raquetta did a great job at covering this also. Now we did see Emily was the only one that had an actual interview with. Do you guys remember, for those of you that watched the actual trial with me, do you remember Green Shirt Girl? And we found out later that she works for Court TV. And she had a boob window. Remember that? Yeah. I bet you do. She was on there also. I think her name's like Chanley or something. She was relatively objective, but you could tell her bias. You could tell that she was Team Amber, whereas Emily felt like she was just spitting straight facts, right? She felt like she was doing such a good job. Now, they did show a clip of Legal Bites. If you guys are familiar with her, I've never watched any of her content, but I do know of her because I know she started covering the trial right before it went on, and then there was some issue that she had back and forth with Taylor Lorenz from the Washington Post. I may be getting that story a little skewed, but she had a clip it on there. In the nicest way possible. I wish it was Raquetta. He deserved it. But as far as other few influencers, now I'm not going to individually name the TikTokers because I'm not going to lie. I have no idea most of them. Like, I am Legal Bites is good, awesome salt. And I'm just not familiar. But as far as TikTokers go, the people that made that song, the Objection Hearsay song, they showed that a little bit. The animations, they showed a little bit. The girl that dressed up as Amber and kind of cosplayed, they showed a little bit. All of which I don't follow these people on TikTok, so I'm not familiar with their names. The one girl that went up to the courthouse and got to the attorneys to tell them that Eve Barlow and Amber were passing notes was also featured. And I thought that was really awesome because she was like, I do follow her on TikTok. She was like woman on a mission. Like, I saw them pass notes. I am telling on you. She went straight up Johnny Karen. Were there TikTok memes? Yes, Hawa. There was and then they would do, like the Objection Hearsay song, and then the sea shanty one, and then the one where he's like, I used to be objected, objection. Oh, no, that is that one. What's that sea shanty one? It was like Johnny Depp's theme song. They had that one on there too. I thought it was awesome. Now, as far as YouTubers, besides obviously Emily Baker and Legal Bites, we had, let me look at my list here. What's Tickety Tack? Hey, sometimes TikToks get oddly addicting, but I love that YouTube is including them more because I like it as a platform more. So we did see Tug, rightfully so. There was actually, I would say, not quite a bit about Tug, but we see him on Johnny's story, right? And it's just like, say you pulled up Tug's page and you scrolled through it. That's kind of all you saw when they were talking about Johnny's story. And they were like, and this became a big thing and people are getting millions of views. And they show Tug. And I'm like, that's right. That's right, bitches. And then we saw Tug on the other side, on Amber's side, right? And we actually saw them talking about, let me move this back. We actually saw them talking about the connection between Tug and Adam Waldman. They covered that again, right? And they did show like, hey there, I can't do that. I can't do that, right? Like I sound weird. I can't even try. But we did see that part. And they were talking about Adam Waldman, and when Adam Waldman admitted to basically saying, yeah, I answer these. I call them internet journalists, is what he said. And he specifically mentions Tug and Incredibly Average. So they showed both of them. They also showed a video. Incredibly Average was on the scene talking about this before any of us were, right? Before any of us were. And Incredibly Average deserves, if anyone out there, Jay. So hey there to all of you fine folks on this fine day. That's so funny. And they showed, they're all over social media, but the videos that originally came from Incredibly Average, where he actually kind of break down the dialogue and shows the little pictures, and those were on there also, rightfully so, right? And then we had, oh, who else? Let me see here. Oh, Popcorn Planet was on there. Oh, awesome, right? Everyone's so excited. Oh my God. No. And then Joseph Morris also had, a little bit. I forgot. We also got a tweet from the real Laura B. I was like, yes, all these people that deserve some fucking recognition for the hours upon hours of hard work. I would say the people that deserve it the most are Laura and Incredibly Average. It's just my opinion. Not trying to throw shade, but they got both. And I was so happy. It was just a tweet from Laura. She just recently got a YouTube channel. But even so, Laura's awesome. If you guys don't follow her on Twitter, if you're on Twitter, do it. Do it right now. Okay, after the stream you can. Because she's always updating. She's always doing a great job. She also has a YouTube channel, which I love because I'm not on Twitter. So I get to actually, hear her talk about different things and give her opinion a little bit more than what a little tweet would entail, right? I honestly thought it was really great. Robert, hold on, let me scroll down. I was up. Thank you so much, Robert, for the super chat. But where's your recognition? 0 out of 10. I won't see it. I am way too small of a platform to get recognition. There was no way I was going to. Come on now. I'm just happy for these other people. I think it's really cool. Joseph Morris has slightly dodgy info. Slightly? In the nicest way possible. Slightly? Like, Joseph Morris, I like his YouTube channel, so I'm not gonna be super mean, but like I swear to God, his neighbor could come up and be like, I heard Amber Heard likes taco salad, and he'd be like, make a weird picture, and he'd be like, she's killing all the taco salad? Like, I like him, but come on now. Yes, dodgy is a way to put it. And I can respect the grift. It's not something I could personally do just because I'm like, I'm just not that personal, and I'm not personal. I'm just not that good at like, doing the editing and all of that stuff. That's why today I was like, we need to talk about this. The whole idea was for me to watch those and make a video on it. And then I'm like, no, this deserves a stream. Like, this is one of those things that needs mentioned because it's very few and far between. Does Johnny get taco salad is delicious, by the way. Yes, absolutely, Elon. It's very few and far between. Does Johnny actually get the recognition he deserves, or his story told in a way that's not inflammatory? And I was like, wow, like it's not perfect, of course not, but They did such a good job at just telling what happened, just being rather objective about it. All right. Did I miss anybody? Let me make sure. I wrote them all down. Oh, I love one thing that Emily D. Baker did say. Um, when she was talking in the interview, she said, I would argue for celebrities, the court of public opinion almost outweighs the court of law. And I was thinking about that and I'm like, you know what? She's right. She's right. Even before the trial in the UK, I mean in Virginia, we had the trial in the UK. Johnny by Judge Nichols was deemed a wife beater, right? And in that situation, or am I eating? No, I was taking a drink. Gross. Did you hear it? I'm sorry. Um, in that situation, we actually saw um the court of public opinion not bail on him. Do their own research. And I've talked about how impressive it is in the past, but even in that situation, yeah, the court of a public opinion was much stronger than the court of law. Now he's got court of law and public opinion to back him up, but I mean, it's pretty impressive. It really, really. She's eating tacos now. Tacos sound delicious. You guys are eating. How have you never eaten a taco? That's kind of impressive. Not gonna lie. Okay, so we got a prologue. Let's talk about the prologue. Kind of sets the tone for the. Now we're talking about. There's two separate episodes. The first episode is supposed to be Johnny's story. So the prologue is Camille and the team talking about what they want to do, how they want to kind of go about it. It seemed very early in the stages of not planning, but in the stages of the court trial. And they actually mention that they've been preparing for this for years. Like thousands of hours went into that trial. Thousands for Johnny to finally get his voice back. And there was one girl on there, a blonde legal analyst, and she was like, Johnny's got fuck you money. He doesn't care. He's got fuck you money. Oh my God. And it was kind of annoying. You could definitely tell her biases there. But when it came to Amber, obviously didn't have, right, that amount of money. So Johnny was kind of already at a higher point there. He was already doing really well. Like I said, the intro was bad editing. I thought something was really strong, what Ben Chu said, and said more about his character than anything else. And right in the beginning, he said, the sense of right and wrong is a great motivator. And I was like, oh, yeah, absolutely. But like, you're a lawyer, right? How many of you guys actually trust lawyers? How many of you would, how many of you actually believe they're telling the truth 100% of the time? We know this. So, in this situation, as a lawyer, I thought that was a really good line because it shows a lot about his morals. It shows a lot about what he was looking for in this situation. And I thought it was really awesome. Um, they did do a good job of stating how important it was quite a few times, like over and over, how important it was for Johnny to be able to tell the world I didn't do this, right? For him, they made it very clear throughout the entirety of it that it was not about money. It was not about attention. It was not about vindication or revenge. Over and over, they stated, whether it was Camille or showing the different clips, because they did show a lot of clips from the trial. They made it very clear. Bane, what are you doing? Can you go? Come on. Let me get Bane. Bane. Here. Take your brush. All right. Now I got a happy kitty. But they made it clear that Johnny just, you're a lawyer? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. I hope I didn't. But they made it clear that Johnny wanted to tell a story. And they did talk. See, you know what? I go back and forth with this. I'm curious what you guys think. When it comes to the cameras being in the courtroom, that was Johnny's call. That was what he wanted. And that's fair. That's very fair to him. He wanted everybody to see his story. Now, if we were talking, and we're not, but if we were talking about a real victim of that sort of abuse, it would feel like cruel and unusual punishment to have it be aired on TV. Generally, they take that kind of stuff, even if it is on TV, out. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not gonna lie. If this were a real situation, I think I'd be very, very torn. Okay, good. No offense. I think I'd be very, very torn if this were any other situation. Reliving something like that would cause more trauma. Absolutely would cause more trauma. But in this situation, I also understand it from the other side going, hey, my story has been muddied by the media. She started this. I'm going to end it. So I got it. The cameras helped out big time. If it wasn't for the cameras, this would have been spun against him and by the mainstream media. They would have twisted things. It's why they couldn't spin it post verdict. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think they were essential in this situation, but in a situation of actual, don't misunderstand me here, not Amber, an actual victim of DV or SA, I would be very torn. Very torn. But to be fair, Amber started this war, right? She single-handedly brought social media into this. She single-handedly started everything with that Washington Post op-ed. She took it to the media. And then on top of that, she took it to her Twitter page and posted it out. She single-handedly brought in social media and then backpedals through the trial and goes, it's social media's fault. It's social media's fault. Honey, in the nicest way possible, you reap what you sow. And when you start sowing on social media, you can't expect to be the only one who can play that game. And Johnny played that game like a fucking fiddle. And honestly, I don't think he would have even lost on the one count of the 2 million if it were. I blame this might piss some people off, but I'm just gonna be real here. I blame Adam Waldman 100%. I blame him 100%. Adam Waldman's cool. He's a weird dude. He's a weird pick, but he's a great pick when it comes to social media management. Like, absolutely. But he's got he's got weird ties to Russian oligarchs. And Adam had every string available for him to pull, including the Daily Mail, including that umbrella guy, Incredibly Average, all of these people. So the information trickles down, right? And honestly, it was very smart, but it is also at the same time what got Johnny in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, it's what made him lose that $2 million, but also, was that $2 million worth shutting up and not leaking that stuff? Like, honestly, I think Adam was extremely smart with the leaking of the audio tapes. That opened a lot of people's eyes. I'm taking a drink. I'm not letting you listen. I hope you didn't hear that. I guess I could have just muted. Now I'm gonna be like, oh my god, every time I take a drink. Actually, the simple fact that the post verdict could not be turned against him and or salvage things for Amber, that is the bigger miracle than the verdict that she was screwed. I agree 100%. But you still have those people out here. It's very weird for me to go on TikTok. And a lot of times I'll look for content over there, transform it in a way and post it. You know what I mean? Like I'll look for clips, post them together, move things around. There is oddly, like if I type in Amber Heard in the search, there's a lot. Okay. I'm being a little hyperbolic there. There's a few Amber Heard supporters that are diehards. Like there's names like Amber deserves an apology or unofficial Amber Heard, stuff like that. And the funny thing is they don't ever combat anything, right? They don't ever say, okay, well, this can't be true because Johnny did this on this day. They don't ever go into the evidence. You know what they do? Good morning, hey there, it's Devin Graham. They make like, oh my god, isn't Amber so pretty? Look at how pretty. Look. She was in these 3 movies. Let's make them fade together and let's do a really good edit and put a really cool song behind it. And oh my god, she's so pretty. Or they make fun of Johnny Depp. Like I seen one the other day where it was like having the birthdays of all the people that he dated. And it was like, do you notice a pattern here? Like trying to insinuate like he's like Leonardo DiCaprio and he only dates like super young women. That's it. There's no people breaking down, at least on TikTok. There could be on Twitter. I don't use that platform, but even on YouTube, I only know of one person. There's no one taking the evidence and diving in like this community did and doing the work. Like you could very easily make edits of Johnny Depp in Pirates or Edward Scissorhand or anything, Gilbert Grape, and be like, oh my god, cool song in the background. Look, he can walk and be handsome. But most of us, that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. We're putting in the work. And it's very weird to me how one-sided it is. Good morning, Carnine. But honestly, it's awesome. Did Amber Heard get cheek? Oh god, yes she did. There's no way she didn't. Like they go look at her in like Never Back Down or something, and you'll see such a massive difference in that. And honestly, it's I think they look really bad. Really, really bad, in my opinion. And they're not feminine. They look edgy and I don't know. They also did a really great job of showing the outside of the courtroom. They had some different like drone shots, of course, but they showed us a side we didn't necessarily see all the time unless you were Darth News also did a really good job with this too. But they showed all of the different news networks, all of the different people that were standing outside, the alpacas. There was somebody made their big van into a ship like he had in Pirates. Like there was impersonators there and people bringing amazing things. And there was people there that showed up kind of on the fence and waited to find out and were won over. There was a girl that had a big roll of stickers and it had like a red circle with a cross through it with Amber on the other side and it just said herd immunity. I'm like, that was pretty creative, right? That was really good. And I honestly thought it was cool how they showed that side, but one thing was even cooler that they showed. So do you guys remember Morgan Knight? He was the old young man. I can't figure it out. I honestly have no idea. That came, he was before Morgan Tremaine, but he was the man that had the trailers where Amber asserted that Johnny was jealous of this other girl that was flirting with her, right? So they actually were able to talk to Morgan Tremaine. Wait, he's only 35 years old? No. Good morning, Cartoon and Comics. You were right. You were right about the Titans and Doom Patrol and Stargirl crossover. We just didn't see it yesterday. No, my lighter's not working. I got it. Don't you worry. But he actually showed where they stayed. And like for that point alone, I thought it was very cool that Discovery put in the work. They went to where and I don't think, if I remember, somebody remind me. I know that, I'm sorry, Morgan Knight. I know Morgan Tremaine was not actually scheduled. Do you guys remember if Morgan Knight was, or if he was another one that reached out? I honestly cannot remember. Shit. I don't think he was scheduled. I honestly don't. With a fishnet skirt, allegedly. I can't remember either, Sultan. But they go to this trailer park. No lighter anxiety at the thought. And you get to see it, right? Okay, this will remind you in case you forget. Yes, Jay. Remember when Amber was describing being at this trailer park? And everybody knows this scene. And she's like, I don't know what happened. Da, 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 da. My dog stepped on a bee. Yes, that's the place we're talking about. So they actually take you there. And he owns a different place now. But they were able to show you the different trailer park. And honestly, facts, Elon, facts. Honestly, I was surprised that it was so small. I don't mean to sound mean, but when I think of celebrities, I think of like luxurious, vacation spots in the Caribbean, or different places they get to go that are, kind of exclusive only to elite people. And it was teeny tiny. Like, I know you guys have all seen a regular trailer, right? Not a double wide, not anything like that. That's the size of it. And honestly, I am not saying that, okay, I'm kind of saying it. It wasn't even that nice. Like, it was cool. I would like to stay there at a cool pool, at a cool concept of a campground, right? But like, when I think of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, or something like anybody really, like, I think of that kind of luxury, right? No, this was like a regular trailer with a regular kitchen, a nice little bed. It wasn't this beautiful, amazing thing, which is kind of like humbling in a way. But also, it's like this really cool concept this Morgan Knight has of these little getaways, right? And the first thing he says when he's introducing it is, we're a weed-friendly community here. We accept everyone. And I'm like, my man, you are awesome. Still don't know if you're old or young, but you're still awesome. Like, I thought that was really cool that Discovery actually took the time and went there. Like, I'm not saying they put a bunch of money into this, but it was something I've never seen before and I've talked about a million times. So I thought that was really cool. Probably not as cool as I'm making it out, but I've talked about this situation so many times, and I've always had this kind of idealized picture of all these things, right? And I'm like, this just blows that away. Dude, you're staying in a trailer. That's fucking awesome. I don't know. Don't ask me, but yes, they showed that, and I thought that's worth it to see it alone. Honestly. Oh, another part that was so there was only one part in this whole thing that was really hard for me to watch. Um, yeah, I'm like I did it impromptu. I've never done impromptu before, Black Phoenix, but it was I didn't feel like editing. I'm gonna be real honest here. Um, you guys remember Isaac Baruch? Mm, that was hard to watch again. Like, I remember how emotional his testimony was the first time, but watching it the second time, now that some time has passed, it still hit really hard. Like, there was no acting there. There was nothing but real, raw emotion. And it hits hard every single time. And I like that they gave him the spotlight again. Even if it's hard to watch, it was really hard hitting. And it was perfect in telling the story over again. Another thing that they brought back, you guys are so happy right now. You're so yeah, it's actually pretty now, Brittany, I'm not gonna say it's great, I'm not gonna say it's perfect, but it's the best representation Johnny has gotten from a more mainstream source. That was pretty decent. It's worth the watch. Shannon Curry, and they do go over her in quite a bit of detail, and they talk about um Amber's, BPD and histrionic. And then I'm like looking at and they're talking about what it's like, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to Google this. Is this what I have? Okay, I do that all the time. I really don't, obviously, but I just thought it was funny when I'm looking at it and I'm like, my eyes are getting wider. I'm like, what's wrong with me? But apparently, believe it or not, it's nothing. Um, she came back and they just show clips. I wish they would have been able to interview her like they interviewed Camille and some of the other people. But to be fair, they didn't interview Dawn either. So they kept it kind of like that. I just would have liked to see, I would be very curious how her life has changed since the trial. She did a phenomenal job. Like, this woman is she's a gem. She's a gem. Beautiful, smart, sophisticated, absolutely did an amazing job. And it was nice to see her. I would be curious. I know she has an Instagram. I haven't checked it in a while, but I would be curious to see if she's had a chance to talk about what it's been like post trial. And how things have affected her, either negative or positive. I would be curious. So they cut back to Camille, right? And Camille's made a point I've said before. I think we've all said at one point. But she's absolutely right. Imagine if Johnny, the audio we heard, if it was Johnny Depp saying, "I'm not punching you, I'm hitting you." This trial would have never happened. This trial would have never happened had this been reversed. It doesn't matter how you look at it. You've got to at least admit to yourself that if we had audio saying, I hit you, Amber. I hit you. I don't know how my fist was. I don't know the motion of my hand, but I was hitting you, not punching you. No way in hell would we be having this same conversation. If the tables were turned, he would be in jail. Yeah. I could not agree with this more. Abuse is abuse is abuse is abuse. Abuse is not gendered. It does not care your race, creed, sexuality, or well, I just said gender. Abuse is abuse. And I still do feel like this was a it was a monumental case. It was a case in which we took it. We saw a man come out, put his life on public display for everyone, and openly say, I am a victim of domestic violence. And that's pretty fucking powerful, in my opinion. Let me see here. What else do I got? I don't want to go to the second part until I get the first part done. Oh, another really, really important point that Camille made was, so when we have these Me Too cases, right? We have cases that come out, and generally right afterwards we have a lot of Me Too's, right? So let's talk about one as an example. Harvey Weinstein, first person comes out, we've got 3 or 4 right behind it saying Me Too. Even yesterday, weirdly enough, Adam Levine came out, and I think there was a couple, or not Adam Levine, but the girl he was sleeping with previously came out, and a lot of people were saying Me Too. Bill Cosby. There are a bunch of examples of this situation. The one thing that was different about Johnny was he didn't have any Me Too's. He did not have a single person come out after the trial or after the initial accusation and say, I was a victim also. He's the one single person, even as much stuff as we have seen come in the face of Marilyn Manson, he's had multiple accusers also. But that's a whole nother situation. That's for a whole nother fucking video. There's so much to that. And that's a fucked up one, isn't it? Like super messed up. But maybe we'll talk about that a different day. But nobody came out. The people that did come out were saying, not me. Not me. We had Camille. We had Vanessa. We had Ryder. We had all these long-term relationships saying, what? Are you fucking crazy? He's nothing but a gentleman. And then the most important one to this case right now was Kate Moss. Yep. Terrence beat me to it. They mentioned what a monumental fuck up in the nicest way possible. What a monumental fuck up it was for Amber to mention her name. Because had Amber not mentioned her name, they could not do anything about it. But that point, I think I released a short on it, where Ben Chew, like, fist bumps because he's so happy. They mentioned that in there. Like, they mentioned what bad PR that was. And I guess, I don't trust multiple accusers. The first one is all that matters. The story is the same. If the story is the same, it's a lie. Right. And you gotta know me by now, Shane. I don't believe accusations until they're proven. If Johnny taught us anything, that is to have a wait and see attitude. That is to say, hey, this doesn't quite add up. Let's wait and see if there's any other accusations out there. And let's see what happens. I would say I waited I waited as long as I could with Ezra Miller. I was one of the I at first I was like, "Eh." And then, some of the evidence I seen through Zaggy Mellon's channel was like, it's a little fishy, right? Um, and now I'm like, what is going on, guys? Like, I really waited with that one. I'm trying to make sure I treat everyone like I would have like Johnny in this situation. You have to have some clear evidence. But where's that balance? That's what I haven't been able to figure out yet. Where's the balance between believing victims and demanding evidence, right? Because sometimes evidence isn't always readily available. But generally you can get something. But I personally, I don't know where that balance is. I don't ever want to make a victim feel like I'm doubting them ever. But I also want to be true to we've had so many situations. We've had a lot of cry wolf, right? Now when it comes to Vince McMahon, oh my god. Vince McMahon stepped down. He's like, "Stephanie, come on. Come on. Come on, I can't do this. You know what I did. Quit playing. You knew all along." But I don't know. It's a tricky situation. And I think that's the most important thing is you examine each individual situation. Aha, unicorn, you're so smart. Absolutely perfectly said. There's no balance because everyone in every situation is super different. Exactly. You have to examine them all different. You have to look at them as individual situations and try not to let the people that cry wolf taint you. But in a way, sometimes they do. And I know they do with me, right? We had that girl destroy that kid in college's life, man. Like, who does this kind of shit? Who does this kind of like Amber Heard will be used for years to come as a fake abuse person. Like, you got Amber Hearded, fuck, man, you okay? Yeah, it's either gonna be that or or someone shit in your bed. I mean, I don't know which one it's gonna be, but it will catch on. So yeah, it's really hard to find that balance, and Unicorn had said it right. Everyone's different. Every situation is different. You just gotta be really careful. And Kate Moss in this situation was sort of like their golden goose. And they do show behind the scenes when they're trying to get a hold of Kate Moss, right? She actually didn't say yes right away. Weirdly enough, right? I didn't expect that because I just assumed, oh hey, I need you. You know what I mean? Like, this is a big deal. But to my understanding, what they were saying was she doesn't like this kind of like rumor mongering. She doesn't like to feed the trolls. In this case, Amber's the troll, right? She doesn't like that drama spotlight on her. And she was like, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. And she finally did confirm later on in the evening, but she wasn't into it. I'm glad that she took a chance. I think it actually worked out very well in her favor because this this situation, this is gonna sound like a dick thing to say, but I always feel bad when I want to say something dick, but you know what, I'm just gonna say it. Kate Moss is beautiful. She's all these things, but she's way less relevant than she was in the 90s, and this kind of got her like star power back up a little bit in a way. Like, it almost made her relevant again. And I think that helps. I really think that helps. Um, the Duke Lacrosse girl of Hollywood, except unlike former, the damage has mostly undone in the majority. Yes, I think that's who I meant too. I'm sorry, Pablo. I haven't understood a single thing you said. I actually don't even. You might be a bot to my. I don't know, but you're more than welcome here anyway. Amber Heard should never be relevant again. Phoenix. That's cute. When was Amber Heard ever relevant? Did you know that Chris? Oh, if we have time. No, we probably won't. Well, we might. Yeah. We'll talk about Chris Boozy. Did you know that Chris Boozy? I just dropped the top of my pop. From Bot Sentinel was a well-known crypto scammer. No, I did not know that. No way. Mattress Girl, that's who I was thinking of, Robert. Thank you, thank you. I did not know he was. I didn't know that he filed bankruptcy at one point. But I did not know he was a crypto scammer. What an idiot. Like, I'm not a big, I don't even understand crypto, so I can't even say anything, but just a scammer in general. Goodness gracious. Sounds like her type of people. Facts. That takes us up. Okay, Kate Moss takes us up. Oh, another thing I didn't know is that we didn't have a demographic. I just bit my tongue. Ow. We didn't have a demographic of the jury, right? Because all of it was sealed. We did find out, and it may have been released previous to this. I could be wrong, but that there was 5 men and 2 women. The crocodile tears did not work for Amber. That's amazing. Like, I think women would be a harsher judge on Amber, especially if any woman's been through any trauma, which we don't know. But in that situation, I'm actually surprised with how many men were on there that it skewed so much in Johnny's favor. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking about it the wrong way, but even so, we found out the demographic of it at least. So they open up on the second half of this, right? And they start actually, shockingly enough, and make her look so bad. So this part you guys, are you familiar with House and Habit? We talked about her a couple weeks ago when it came to uncovering the Amber sex parties, right? The parties where she would go and perform oral sex in front of a bunch of rich elites, right? With that being said, they made her look really they didn't make her look really bad. She made herself look really bad. And I just kind of cringed at like at first I was like, "Oh, cool," right? Like she got to talk cuz it was like a real interview. It wasn't like something about one of her articles. No, they were actually talking to her. And she goes, "Hey, it's just gossip. I don't actually fact check anything. None of it's facts." What? What? Did you just really say that? She's like, "I'm free. The mainstream media has to obsessively fact check stuff. I don't do that." I'm like, what? What? Like, I wanna I take everything with a grain of salt. I absolutely do. But a lot of the stuff she said about the bow chicka bow wow parties add up, right? And we've seen pictures and a lot of weirdness. At the bare minimum, Amber's a kinky girl, right? Which is not illegal and not even a big deal. But To go on a documentary and be like, I don't fact check. Oh, it's not a good look, honey. It's not a good look. And now it it, ah, it makes me retroactively put more doubt in my mind. Does that make sense? Like, probably not the smart thing. Like I don't think she meant to say it, but it came off very much so that way. And that wasn't, I wouldn't even say Discovery's fault. That was how she framed it. It was very, very weird. But anyways, we at least got to see her. Now, when it came to Amber's side of the story, it's going to be exactly what you thought it was. Like, it's going to be what it's been all along. I would say 50% of what they focused on was about drug use. Drug use, right? Oh my God. He used to take his mom's nerve medicine. Oh, he popped some MDMA. He did this, he did that, he smokes pot, he does this. Like, okay. But also at the same time, this is Amber's story, right? Amber's story. And then they cut to Camille during Amber's story. Break it. What's the latest? Is that what they were talking about with the crypto scam? Then they cut to Camille going, he's either he's either drugged up and drunk and can't function and passed over in Amber's mind, or he's drugged up and drug and he's super strong and beats her up. They can't have it both ways. And I'm like, ooh. Yeah, Amber, you can't have it both ways. And this was on Amber's story. That's why I was like, oh, you are debunking Amber's story in Amber's section. I'm not against it. Not against it. I'm just saying, I find it very funny. Very funny indeed. But yeah, that was most of it. They did make a big point, and we're going to go back to social media a little bit, but they did make a big point to talk about, like, there was one lady there again, the one that I told you earlier said, oh, he's got fuck you money. All that money. Was like, I don't believe a single juror when they say they weren't on social media. I have not been off social media for 6 weeks since social media existed. I'm like, okay. Well, they were sequestered. They were told what to do. Now, do you believe it? That one part of the case I've never understood. Vasquez said of AH testimony and JD was physically violent while under the influence. Yes. Yes, this is the exact part I was talking about. He's either high or drunk and incapable of even standing up, or he's drunk and high and able to attack her, chase her, land blows. It just doesn't make sense. That's the exact part I was talking about. And a lot of, like, it was during Amber's side of the story. And I was like, wow. Yeah. Who's going to play Amber Heard in a Lifetime movie? Oh my God. Can you imagine? I mean, I don't doubt that it's coming. I don't doubt it at all. But I don't know. I don't know about the social media thing. I'm torn on that one too. Like, do we actually can you say that you truly believe that they were off social media for that long? Her team is trying to equate addiction and abuse. In this case, it frustrates. Yes, absolutely. They're trying to be like, oh, he just doesn't remember. Well, you always showed him passed out. So doesn't that lead us to believe that any drug use he had, he was passed out during? Like, you can't have it both ways. And I thought that was really hilarious that they actually put it during Amber Heard's side. Netflix said it. Not a single one of you have answered me. Do you truly believe that these people were off social media for penis is not an answer, Elon, for 6 weeks? That means no YouTube, no TikTok, no Facebook, no Instagram, no Snapchat, no Twitter. I don't know any other platforms. I'm trying to think. BitChute. Oh, there's another one. Johnny Depp's defamation trial against Amber Heard will be a subject of a new movie. Hot take. The Depp Heard trial. Oh, it'll date a Tubi movie. Is that a real thing? Is Tubi even have stuff on it? Some, but not all. Remember, Twitter is not even 20% of the country, and who knows about YouTube? No, they did not leave social media. You're right. I cannot believe it. Even if they weren't, they were chosen with no prior knowledge. Exactly. You could find out from their service providers. A very good point there. Don't think so. Yes, I believe them. As I said, people on juries will be very scared of screwing up. Okay, I think that's fair. Rumble Odyssey, there we go. Gitter or something. Gab, I think is another. I don't know. I don't use them. But I think my point here is I think that for the most part, I would say I do believe they were off to a point. And even if they saw, I think they would probably avoid it. Now, do I think that influenced their opinion? That's the important part, right? Do we think that it influenced their opinion? No. I don't. Unicorn, you beat me to it every single time. You beat me to it every single time. Actually, the social media question isn't the right question. It's more about the jurors allowing social media to influence their decision. No, they were not influenced, and no to going on social media. Unicorn is our BAMF of the day. Exactly. I don't believe that they weren't on social media. At least they we don't know if they were fans of I don't know, House of the Dragon, and they wanted to watch House of the Dragon ending explained, or they wanted to watch all of the Easter eggs in I don't know, Strange 2. Doctor Strange 2. Like, there's no problem with them going on and watching that kind of stuff, right? But the problem is if it influenced them. And that I don't see. I don't see that being an issue at all. And I think that's what they were trying to kind of allude to, right? And then there was another interesting question. So they talked a little bit about, like I said, the social medias. They talk about Laura B, Popcorn Planet, Incredibly Average, Tug. Then they talked about Adam Waldman's connection to Tug and Incredibly Average. Which I'm not a fan of. Because of the way that it hurt Johnny in this case, right? That's my issue of it. I do think Adam Waldman was extremely intelligent in leaking some stuff. Not extremely intelligent on covering his tracks. Just gonna say that. Not that it's okay, but goodness gracious. When you openly admit to having several conversations with that umbrella guy, you gotta realize that you're gonna lose, like you're gonna cause your some issues with your clients. Whoopsie. Um, so the last kind of question they posed, and I'm gonna pose it to you guys also. Amber Heard posed the question, right? The question was, I don't even know if I can pull up the original op-ed, but I'll see if I can. Um okay, well, maybe not. Why is it taking me to the New York Post? Besides, Elaine herself challenged the jury to look up on social media how yeah, you're right. She did. I may at least have like a picture of it. What are you doing, douchery? I wanted to get it verbatim what it said, but I guess I'm not gonna. Okay. Well, basically, we'll just kind of TLDR it, right? The question was, or what she said was, I spoke up on social media about being a victim or an advocate. I'm not sure exact wording for domestic violence, and I received the wrath. And again, that fuck you money bitch, the blonde girl I was talking about, was like, she proved her point. Look at all the wrath she got. The issue I have here with saying that is that she wouldn't have gotten that wrath, maybe a little bit. Let's be real here. There's definitely some misogynists out there and everything, but the problem was that it was a lie and everyone knew it was a lie. So how can you prove a point when you're lying to begin with? Can you guys not fight? I'm trying to find the Taylor Lorenz stuff I wanted to talk about too, real quick. See, when I do impromptu streams, I am near as prepared. Can you stop? They're having a conversation in being mad at each other. I know she put out a new article, and this one's from April. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to. This is the problem when I search through Bing. Figure started it, or do you mean my? I meant my cats. Why are you guys fighting with figure drawing? What'd you do? No, I'm just kidding. So there was a I don't know. What do you guys like? What do you think? Do you think she proved her point in that article? Like, honestly, I don't. Just because if she was telling the truth and this still happened, then yeah, I could say she proved her point. But the problem from the very beginning. Wait, what? What is this? I don't know who this is. Someone says a documentary lies. Oh, it must be something different. I swear I can find it. This is my problem. All right, this guy's got like a picture of it. Does anybody know who Frank Valenciaria is? I've never heard of him before. But we're still going to bring it up because he's got the article in his thing. The new article, Taylor Lorenz likes pushing people like to a point where they get fucking furious with her. And I don't understand. Like, I guess I can't really talk, to be fair. But in the same sentence, like, I'm not like, how do you guys consider a doxing? Okay. Would you consider it? Here, I'm going to show you. I promise. Here we go. I don't know who this is, but I want to look at the article here that he's got up, right? Wait, if I do this, I might be able to. Okay. This is the new article from Taylor. I was looking for this article from Taylor, I think from the Washington Post, but I mean, this works. I didn't know. So a lot of people are claiming now, I don't know how I feel about this because a lot of people are claiming this is doxing. Tug was doxed years ago. Literally years ago. I lost half of my people when I'm so slow. See, this is why I don't do impromptu. I'm sorry, guys. The problem is you can't dox somebody that's already been doxed. So is it shitty? Of course it's shitty. But I've seen a lot of people kind of claiming that Tug was doxed again by Taylor Lorenz for like the 16th time. Come on, people, get the likes up. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Hooded. So it says that Umbrella Guy has grown his following to more than 400. That is fucking phenomenal. That is honestly insane. I think I subscribed to Tug when maybe he had. Oh, is my chat's not froze? When he had maybe 15,000 subscribers and he was still doing videos about like comic skate and shit. Largely by posting anti-Amber Heard content. I love how they framed this. They could have said largely by posting pro Johnny Depp content or content on Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. But the way that they framed it is very, very telling. Depp's lawyer said he's been in communication. Yes, we actually talked about that earlier. YouTube channels like that Umbrella Guy are not the exception to the rule. Says Christopher Boozy. Now, dripping bias. Exactly. Can somebody answer this for me? Because I got really confused the other day when I was looking this up and I was looking at this article. From my understanding, Christopher Boozy was on Amber Heard's payroll. Now, does anybody know any different? Can anyone confirm that? Thank you, Cartoon and Comics. I appreciate you. I need to, I'm hoping to have 67 by Sunday. I'd be so happy. To my understanding, yes, he was. Okay, that's what I thought, Break It. Thank you very much. Yes, Amber. Okay, thank you, Jazzy. Um, so how can somebody, now this article was written by Taylor Lorenz. How can somebody like Taylor Lorenz take somebody on the payroll and still call themselves an unbiased journalist? That is like interviewing, that's like getting paid to do I don't know. It's just ridiculous. That was a terrible analogy that I was going to say, and it was going to involve pizza, and then I already realized I'm hungry, so I'm not saying it. What people must do first, stop playing victim when you don't know the facts. There's a claimant and the accused until you know the facts. Victims and attackers are a statement of fact. Stop saying victim. I was like, who's playing victim? I said the word. I said it wrong. Are you surprised? So a research a research firm that specializes in disinformation. Now, to my understanding, what we're seeing here is one big manipulation of the facts for a man that specializes in disinformation. Because Nate the lawyer, another person from Lawtube, again, I could be wrong, but I seen a video yesterday about him. It wasn't from him, it was from Raketa, but about him possibly suing him for defamation because this person is not. Oh, thank you, Brenda. I wasn't sure who it was. This person is claiming to be this unbiased, information and it's just not. It's just not. YouTube is telling women. I like how you pretend to know what they're saying. Yes, that's exactly what I was just saying, Danny, for you. YouTube is telling women it's okay for men to punish and monetize videos insulting and demeaning women. That umbrella guy's YouTube videos have received over 116 million views, and YouTube has refused to take action. This is where I draw the line, right? Even if you're an Amber Stan, you shouldn't want to quiet somebody because you don't like their opinion. That's what is wrong with you? Like, I posted something the other day that said, "Are all opinions equal?" And I don't believe they are. I was just curious what people thought. And Tug's opinion on comics, I won't take. Tug's opinion on cancel culture, I don't care. But he's done his research when it comes to Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. He absolutely has. Tris, how else are they going to defend and protect their queen and save their skin? That's very true. That's very true. Tug did not respond directly to a request for comment. Of course he didn't. He's just not going to. And he had not in the past year, and he had not exclusively posted Amber Heard related content, but that he had pushed content about comics, which again, let's see if there's more. I am not a fan of his comic stuff. Our views are extremely different. I learned about Tug during the trial. Elaine brought him to my attention. Thanks, Elaine. Exactly. Elaine was like, it was like the, Beetlejuice. You can't say his name 3 times. Taylor Lorenz is supposed to be writing about female creators online and harassment, stalking, etc. She uses one sentence where someone said, "I was getting called Amber Heard" in a trial, and changes gears, though, to make it about me. The problem with YouTube is I'm of the opinion that Raymond! Pineapples belong on pizza. It's delicious. Oh my god. Um, but the issue I have here is I don't I'll be very fair. I don't like his other stuff at all, but I don't think he should be silenced. Now there are a lot of channels that are anti Amber Heard. I'm one of not anti Amber. Okay, pro Johnny Depp. See, I did it too. Um there are also a lot of channels that do the same thing to Brie Larson. There are a lot of channels that do the same thing to men. It doesn't seem to be as common, but then again I don't notice. But also in the same way it kind of is like you have a lot of channels that go at Donald Trump or DeSantis, or I'm trying to think of celebrities right off the top of my head, and I really can't think of any that people go after a lot as far as men. Maybe Chris, the guy from Jurassic Park that plays Star Lord. Sometimes they go after him. I do think it's more female oriented. I have my own fair of channels that are just dedicated to hating on me, but I don't look at it as like I know there is legal action you can take. It just depends on each given situation. And I think most of us know that by now. I don't Chris Pratt, thank you. I knew the name. I'll take pineapple over a pizza than mushrooms on pizza. I'm so hungry. You guys are evil. Is this the same thing? Creator said that the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard defamation trial was a pivotal moment in online harassment landscape. Who said that? Who? Who said that? Honestly, because I don't know a single person besides maybe like I don't know. It was really weird to me to see the trial because obviously I was covering it. It was coming up in my feed and it came up in everyone's. But I actually seen extremely extremely far left people that 99.99999% of the time always take the side of the woman. Um Either at bare minimum say it was mutual, but a lot of them were taking Johnny's side and I was like, "Holy fuck. There's a first for everything." Will you please stop? Like, oh, who did I see? The only one I seen that literally went like hard against creators was Cavernacle. His video was terrible. But I even seen I was really surprised. This was one of those things where you had everybody agreeing on the situation. And I think it's kind of awesome. Like there is a man out there. You guys can probably hear them. They will not stop. They're rolling around the floor like freaking weirdos. But I don't know what I was saying. I was getting called what? I was getting called Amber Heard a lot during the trial. Said Rios. I don't know who that is. I tell I had to tell or I had people tell me they wish I died. It's constant. Um I as much as I hate to say this, and I think you guys know my feelings on this, it fucking sucks. But if you're a person online, you're going to get that. It fucking sucks. I'm not justifying it. I'm saying if you have a YouTube channel, if you have a big social media gathering, if you have anything, prepare for it. The first time it'll shock you and then you'll get used to it. But it sucks. There's really nothing you can do about it because people are anonymous online. You just kind of deal with it. And if it gets to a point where it's scary, you have to take action. You have to take action. You guys know I have that person that I've had to make 2 FBI reports on, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to make another. Because I'm having some issues again. Speaking of which, I meant to ask you, Shane, I put my email in the chat. If you get a chance, can you email me? I have a question for you, and I don't want to say it publicly. I'm always adding new filter to my comments because that's the only thing I can do. Black, mute, anything. This is your garden. This is your garden. Prune it however you want. There's no reason that you can't. So he really is. Okay. Yeah, this is from yesterday. He's taking it on. I'm dealing with a troll too. Not fun. No, it's not. It's actually quite terrible. It's frustrating, and it's the best thing I can say is black and move on. Don't ah, don't feed into it, because the reason they're trolling is for attention, right? So if you starve them of the thing they want, then they likely go away, but not always. Okay, that's the same part. I wish I could have found the whole article, but it's not that big of a deal. I just thought it was funny because the one part of the article was talking about Tug, and it said he used to post I'm just going off of memory here. He used to post like something about comics, and then it said something along the lines of like, and he's the leader of Comicsgate. I just kind of laughed. I'm like, I bet that pisses some people off. I bet that pisses a lot of people off. Atris, remember, there are these type who will defend Ripa when he gets caught in a lie. These people are brainwashed, delusional sheeple who can't think for themselves. Yeah, it's really weird, right? Because he did specifically get caught in a big lie, trying to pass off a studio as his own, just putting a filter over it, right? And I have no issue with people using stock photos whatsoever. That would be silly to even say, right? People use stock photos all the time. The difference of this situation is he is using it to pretend and allude to the fact that it's his. And it's very, very fucked up, in my opinion, that you would put a filter over both the pictures so you could make it seem like it was yours. Oh, the mental gymnastics you must have to go through to make it seem like that's okay is weird to me. And Jack mentioned Andy, and Andy opened up a, like, it's just so weird to me. Like, I love doing YouTube. I love just being able to have conversations and talk to people. There's a lot of shady fucking people. There's a lot of shady motherfuckers on here. Like Andy, for instance. Haven't heard anything about that doxing attempt. Not only that, my guess is probably because the story panned out. She was a young girl that he harassed. But he started another GoFundMe yesterday. Send us all to Las Vegas. What the fuck? You just had a GoFundMe 2 weeks ago. Or a funding type thing for this to dox people. And then you had a GoFundMe 2 months ago for your studio. Like, you can only You don't ask that. I just there's a level of pride, and maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should plug these things. Maybe I should do these things, but I'd probably be a lot more successful, but that's just not fucking me. Like, I don't even I've had a what is it? Subscribe Star and Patreon. And I put it in my description, but I don't plug it. I don't do that. I don't say these things. Like, I feel like there's a level of professionalism. And I'm not saying, again, that these people shouldn't get paid for their work, but you are. YouTube gives you 55% of the ad revenue. And you get super chats when you do live streams and all that other stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but like 3 GoFundMe's or 2 GoFundMe's in 2 months, like, is really fucking weird. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm not, maybe I'm wrong. It very well could be. I find e-begging as a turnoff. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound like an asshole. I'm not trying to throw shade. It's just fucking weird to me. Yes, I did, Robert. I'm super excited about that. But I am going to wrap up, guys. Thank you for the impromptu stream. It means that I did not have to edit, but we still got to go over this documentary. Remember, it's on Discovery Plus. It's like I said, it's worth checking out at least. Worth checking out for sure. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.